Idolize, demonize, humanize.
The reason we've been hurt, whether it be relationships, because we expected something and didn't happen.
He said, everybody through this business, they go through 3 stages.
Internally, here's what I said. Most people weren't even trying, y'all.
They've literally never made this much money in their entire life.
Most people, they were just coasting.
And then chargebacks start hitting, people start quitting on them, clients start canceling.
I was so far ahead of them that even if they tried the best that they could, they would never catch up to me.
They understand the good and they're okay with the bad. And they're able to mesh both together. And
if you do the slight edge things on a daily basis, it doesn't matter how good anyone else is, they will never catch up to you. Real Talk, Mac Agobor. So we're going to go over just some basic topics, and then we're going to go over the training. This is the basic Haven 12 that anyone needs in order to win. And I'm actually going to call her out on the spot. Anna's going to share something that Marissa, she was the newest integrity partner, shared with her during the FFL cruise about the stages of this business. If you can educate your expectations, you're never going to get hurt. The reason we've been hurt, whether it be relationships, because we expected something and didn't happen. If someone educates your expectations, you're going to be fine. So Anna's going to share that. Then, of course, at the end, we'll go over it. So I'm going to share this quick story about nerves. The day that I knew I was going to win. So I came from America, and we went multiple places, and I eventually ended up in Dallas. And I was at this school, and man, I was not used to having that kind of care. And so I just want to share how grateful I am to God that I'm here, you're here. I remember I came home one day just to give you an idea how grateful I was. And I said, Dad, I think my teacher likes me. He's like, what? Yeah, I think she really likes me. He goes, what do you mean? I said, she called me honey. He's like, man, they don't do that where I'm from. Like, I thought she had a crush on me, right? So it was just, I was so grateful. They had this thing called the turkey trot. And I didn't know what it was. It was this day where at the end of the year, they do a lot of different activities, which was cool, but it was a race. It was a race of all these different age groups, and your job was just to run around the lap. I think it was like 2-3 laps. I forget what it was. And they just said, go. And I remember when I got there, it was a lot of people. I was scared because there were a lot of people, and I was comparing them against myself. I wasn't sure whether I would win. I remember my heart was beating fast. I'm going somewhere with this, so stick with me. And they said, go. All I remember is I was like, all right. These little legs just started going. And as I was going, I didn't know what I was going to win. All I knew was I was going to put what I had, because I knew that, hey, if you go fast and you win something. And I just kept going. I passed 1, 2, 3. Next thing I know, I was past everybody. And I won first place. And that was the first day I was like, huh. In my mind, I won, but after that event, I think I was like, I had to be like, I don't know, 9 maybe. After that event, I kind of internally, here's what I said. Most people weren't even trying, y'all. Most people, they were just coasting. The reason I won was because I was trying. And here's my point to you on that one. There were 1 or 2 that were maybe trying, but because I had begun with the end in mind that I was going to win, I was so far ahead of them that even if they tried the best that they could, they would never catch up to me. So what is my point in saying that? Well, first, you need to decide. Decide that you're going to just do the best you can, no matter what. Second, the slight edge. I just said I was just going to keep going. If you do the slight edge things on a daily basis, it doesn't matter how good anyone else is, they will never catch up to you. We're going to talk about those slight edge things today. So again, if you want to win today, What are things that most folks won't do on a daily basis? They'll do it one day, but they won't do it tomorrow, and the next day, the next day. That's what I'm talking about. What are one of those things? You read every day, make dials every day. Those little small things. So let's jump into the training, y'all, so that everyone here, at least if you're brand new, you should know at the end of this, the basic things that anyone who is in this business, you'll be able to know how to win. All right, I'm gonna share my screen, and 3, 2, 1. All right. All right, y'all. So this is called the Haven 12. So these are the 12 things that if you do these 12 things, you're going to win. It's guaranteed. Like I said it last week, I'll say it this week. You need to gauge yourself. There's going to be 12 things, and I'm going to ask you at the very end, you're going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, and then you're going to divide by 12. So I'm going to break it up. That's for the whole deal. If you want to build an agency, but if all you want to do is be a producer where you're earning 20, 30, 40, 50 a month, helping 20, 30, 40, 50 families a month, all you got to do is just address number 1 through 5. That's it. How does that mean? Submit to the process of 100, meaning you will do 100 appointments as fast as possible. You are not qualified to even make an assumption about this business until you've done 100 appointments. Like you don't even talk about it. Like, meaning the opinions you have on it do not matter. It's like that kid telling his dad he's never going to marry or kiss a girl. Come on, really? He doesn't know what he doesn't know. So are you committed to 100 appointments no matter what? If it's, yeah, maybe. If it's, give yourself a 0. If it's, I will do 100, give yourself a 10. And the question then, if the answer is yes, is how fast will you do that 100 appointments? If someone told you, if you walked from the state line of your state, one side to the other side, I'm talking walked, you couldn't get rides, that you would be earning 200 grand a year, no matter what, would you do it? How fast would you do it? Would you do a slow walk? Would you sprint a little bit? You see what I'm saying? Here's what I'm telling you. When someone said, hey, Mac, if you get to 100 appointments, you are now an expert in this business. You've been through every scenario. I was like, that's all it takes to be an expert. I was like, dang, okay. That's why I ran so fast. I wanted to be I was tired of being a baby. So 100 appointments, are you committed? Second thing is you got to invest in leads on a weekly basis. Leads is your inventory. Without leads, you got nothing. Now in inventory, look at stores. Do stores, like, normal groceries, do they have inventory that go bad, that spoil? Does everything they buy, is it sell? No, inventory is inventory, but without the inventory, they got nothing. Leads is our inventory. Now, if you're great at networking, that's a skill set that is special. Use that as well. But to be scalable, you got leads. You got leads, and that's what's critical. $500 for most folks part-time, $1,000 a week. Again, I said a week, yes, full-time. And if that gives you a little shock in the face, it's okay. When I first heard that, I was a little bit shocked as well, but it's okay because it's usually a 1 to 4 return. That's what it comes out to. Listen, if you simply stack the deck in your favor, it always works out. So number 2, will you commit to invest in leads every week? If it's, well, if I sell, give yourself a 0. If it's, no, I will figure it out, give yourself a 10. Here's why. This business is a baby. It can't feed you yet. A baby is a baby. You guys know, y'all have had kids. The whole goal is you raise your kids. You give them everything. And the whole goal is that you're proud of them when they get old. They'll take care of you. Now, you don't want that to have to happen per se, but they will do better than you. When you're old, they ain't going to put you in an old folks home. They'll take care of you. This baby needs to be fed. So when you had a baby, was it, well, I'll feed him if I feel like it? No, you committed to figuring it out. And I'm telling you, there's no reason you shouldn't feed your business on a daily basis, weekly basis, unless you are a negligent parent. You know what happens to negligent parents? They get CPS called on them. Their kids get taken away. Your business will get CPS called. It's called you going out of business. Decide now, will you feed your child? Have you seen moms, what they do for their kids? They will steal. Someone tries to hurt their kid, they will do whatever it takes to make sure their baby is fed. You got to feed your baby. It's a $500 a week, $1,000 a week. Either way, find a way because you got to have leads. Commit to your dial days. If you're going in-home, it's Mondays, Thursdays, meaning you have to be disciplined. Nothing. You don't run appointments during your dial days. If you're running appointments during your dial days, here's what that looks like. It's you have someone who you called them on, I don't know, you called them on Thursday. They say, oh, I can't meet until Monday. And if you meet someone on your dial day, it's the right activity, but the wrong time, because you're cooking your golden goose. If you use the time that you were going to get more sales to go get a sale, unfortunately, you're eating your own golden goose. You're cooking the goose for dinner. And then when that dinner is fed, then what are you going to use to get more eggs? Nothing. So you got to commit. Thursdays, you dial all day to book for Friday and Saturday. Mondays, you dial to book for Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, if you're telesales, every day's a dial day. Every day's a dial day. What does that mean? Well, for telesales, you're just as disciplined, because in home, you got to be disciplined. You set your stop times and such. And so most folks break it up in 8 to 11, 12 to 4, 5 to 9. That's how you do it. 8 to 11, 12 to 4, 5 to 9. That's your schedule. You can use that same schedule for dials. Now, if you're doing dials, by the way, you should be booking about 2 appointments an hour if you're on track. 300 dials in the 8 to 11. So 300 dials. You should do 2 presentations if you're doing telesales, or you should make 1 sale. So if you started on your first shift, and by the way, this has to have structure. It don't matter whether you're full-time or part-time. This can't be something where you just do whatever you want it. You got to treat this like a job before it is a business for you. It can't be a hobby. If it's a hobby, that costs money. There is very, very few hobbies that I know of that make you money. They just cost you money. What I mean is, you got to be your own boss. And some of you suck at being your own boss. You do. If you were better, you wouldn't be here. You would already have your own business. So we know you. I mean, you're not good at it yet. So we're telling you, we are your coaches. You got to be a good boss to yourself. When you say, hey, I want to go get a break. Nope, it ain't break time yet. Set that schedule. So within that time frame, you got to keep a pace on it. So again, commit to your dial days without fail. If you say, you know what, I will commit to my dial days every day as a shift manager. If I'm going to be running my shift from 8 to 11, I will make 300 dials. If you make 300 dials and you don't get a sale, it's okay. You did your job. But the goal is you either make 300 dials, you do 2 presentations, or you get 1 sale. So if you on your first shift, you made 1 sale, you can stop because you hit the goal. Now, most folks won't because you want to do more, but you can, right? The goal is 2 sales a day, 2 families protected a day. That brings freedom your way. Each family is about $1,000 each, guys. If you're doing 2 families a day, ain't no way you're going to be able to write a check that will never bounce. Keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to continue. You run 15 to 30 appointments weekly, part-time. Here's what gave me confidence. It ain't about being good. If you could just figure a way to make the work, do the work so that you can dial, you can book 15 appointments. Just book it. There's a 20% no-show rate. So if you book 15, let's say 12, 11, let's just say 10 for easy math to show up. You sit on 10, you'll sell half of what you sit on. That's 5 families protected, right? Average is about 1,000 each. Come on, y'all. That's that run day, right? So you were part-time, you help fight. You book 15, the rest, you sat on 10, but five bought. That's 5. And of course, they pay you 9 months. Man, come on. How many people are doing $3 to $5 grand a week? Now, if you're full-time, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to make this promise to you. This is just me, right? If you book 30 appointments a week, so 15 appointments between Tuesday and Wednesday, and then you dial Thursday, you book, another 15 between Friday and Saturday, there is no way you won't be doing 30 grand a month. So the only variable in the equation is, will you dial like a maniac? Will you be a good contestant against yourself? Because you will want to stop. All right. So if you're willing and committed to your 15 appointments a week, what does that mean? And some of y'all are saying, yeah, I'm willing. Nah, listen, it's 8:40 at night, and you haven't booked your 15 appointments, or better yet, it's 7 o'clock at night. You booked a time to go to the gym. You wanted to go see a movie. You're only at 10 appointments. Do you leave or do you stay? That's called commitment right there. So if it's, oh no, I'm gonna go ahead and go to that movie, that's not committed. That's not committed. Commitment is doing what you said you would do long after the feeling in which you said it left you. You don't feel all nice and gleeful. I said I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it. That's what your business needs. I'm going to put you another example. Your baby. You made an appointment to go out with your boys, your girls, on Friday night, Saturday night, but your baby's sick. Your baby say, hey, mama, I really need you right now. Dad, I'm struggling right now. I really need you. Would you still go out with your boys? You guys, I hope you see what I'm saying. This is the commitment that people lack in a business, and they wonder why it doesn't work, because they bring that weak sauce effort and they wonder why it's a weak sauce results. You got to be committed. And then when you treat that child well, man, it'll have so much allegiance to you that, man, no matter what, it will kill for you. This business will kill anything against you once you get it going. So if you're committed, do it. Give yourself a 10. If you're kind of maybe, give yourself a 5. And then the last one, again, this is if you're going to be running just straight selling life insurance, ain't about building a team. It's sharpen your sword every day. You get in this business, you go through a boot camp training, and then you go into the field, and yet you don't train yourself every week on the same thing you're doing. How does that work? How are you going to do that? Don't make any sense, does it? So what I mean by that is there's podcasts. Every day you should be seeing some kind of podcast. Go to the Family First Life YouTube page, havenfg YouTube page. We got trainings of people that are top producers. I'm talking every morning. It's like literally like an athlete stretching every day. Before they go shoot hoops, before they go run, they stretch, right? Other athletes, they study, they do game film. Sharpen your sword every day. So I'm talking 10 minutes. You're listening to someone selling. How do they say this? How do they say that? That's called sharpening. If you won't sharpen your sword, you're as good as dead. Of course, if you're willing to sharpen your sword every day, 10. If you will make time for it. Some of you, and I'm gonna give a shout out to India. Girl works hard. I was in Georgia. I told her this, and she is so coachable. You're gonna see she's coming to the top. You know why? Well, I gave her this, and she said, you know what? I work at 7 o'clock. She looked at the time that she had. She goes, you know what? I'm gonna wake up earlier. Girl says, I'm gonna wake up at 6. She wakes up at 6. She texts me every day of what she actually saw on the YouTube page. That is called commitment. She's sharpening her sword every day. And now, so if all you're going to do is just sell, here's what it looks like. You add up the scores you gave yourself on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add them all up. If you got 50, right? That means you have 100% chance. It's guaranteed, y'all. The only difference between us knowing whether you're going to win or not is just time. You're going to win. If it's a 60, you tell me. If you were a bank and someone came to you, meaning, let's say my man Justin was a bank, was looking for a loan, and I came to the bank of Justin, and I said, hey, Justin, I would like to get a loan for a business. And they looked at your business plan, and your business plan is the Haven 12, and the business plan shows you have a 60% chance of winning. Would you give that person money for leads? Would you give them money for conference? I wouldn't either, right? Maybe 70, maybe, right? But all I'm telling you is the percentage that you're giving yourself, you are your own bank. And so when you don't say, I'm not going to invest, it's because you don't believe in yourself. Why? Well, because you're not even committed. If you start to commit to these things, you as a bank to yourself would feel confident giving yourself these loans. Hope that makes sense. All right. So everything between 6 and 12 is if you want to build an organization. If you want I'm talking freedom. You want a situation where you can go do what you want to do, regardless of what's going on. You can go bless people's lives. You got to share the story of FFL every day. I gave you the tools earlier. 2 people every day should get that website link. 2 people every day should have the question asked to them, do you keep your income options open? Regardless of what they reply, you should at least ask that question twice a day. Now, if you want to take it to another level, 2 people a day should at least say yes. That's a whole nother level, but we ain't worrying about that. All we're saying is just at least ask 2 people a day, get that link out. So if you're willing to do that, 10. If, give yourself, of course, 5. If nah, 0. Of course, weekly builders training, that's this every week. You're going to learn something new. And hey, some of this stuff you guys are going to see, it's mundane. And I'm going to give you a little secret, I'm going to have you come close. Success is boring. Some of y'all come to trainings looking for like the hot sauce, the sprinkles. But here's where, if you were looking for a landmark of when you know like you're winning, like you are ready to go to the next level, it's when the mundane things that people say, they blow your mind. You're like, wow, sharpen your sword, like for real. That is legit. Like, wow. You're not looking for excitement. So you're going to be seeing some of these things every week, but you know what's going to be different? You will be. you will see them in a different vantage point. There are always 3 levels, 3 stages you are whenever you're looking at something and you're either learning it for yourself, so it should always be interesting. You're learning it to teach it or train it, or you're actually teaching it. So if I was brand new, I came to this, I would say, okay, I'm learning this stuff. If I came next week, I saw the same stuff. Maybe I hadn't learned it all, so I'm still learning. But let's say I gathered all, I had a perfect memory. My second stage would still keep me engaged. You know why? Because I'm learning how to deliver the information out. I'm like, okay, I see how Mac does that. Okay, so how would I have shared about sharpening the sword? And then the third stage is you're actually delivering it. You should always be learning. There's a sales conference every quarter. This is called a pit stop. Every quarter we have a sales conference. First quarter is going to be national conference. We're going to talk about that. A sales conference is when in a small area we gather. You got top speakers. They come in. They for free tell you what they're doing, y'all. Last, I think it was a month ago in Phoenix, we had people that were helping guys 60, 70. I mean, some people 100,000 a month. I'm like, no joke, y'all. They for free tell you what they say, what leads they're buying. Like, they don't leave anything out. You need to go to a pit stop every quarter. It's designed that way because you need it. Actually, it has nothing to do with this business. This is just everything we know. The success people, they say you should go to a convention, some kind of something outside of yourself to expand your mind every quarter. And here's one of them. So if you're committed, do it. Give yourself a 10. If not, you know what it is, 0. Now, some of these conferences, what does commitment look like? What if it's not in your area? Well, we have people from Washington flew down to Arizona because they didn't have one nearby. That's what commitment is. Number 9, national conference. We talked about that one. National conference. This is the wedding of your business. Don't no-show your business. This is where you're going to become you. I was a cartoon junkie as a kid. This is where Mega Man becomes Super Mega Man. This is where Goku becomes Super Saiyan. I mean, we can go through all these examples now. If you want to age me, this is where those Planeteers become Captain Planet, right? Some of y'all remember that one. I'm just saying, like, for real, the current you is not going to achieve what you're saying you want to achieve. Because if you keep doing what you keep doing, you're going to keep getting what you keep getting. If you could have done it, you would have done it by now. We were just giving you the tools to become a new you. Now, we're not going to take any credit for anything you've done. In the same light, anything you don't do, it's all your fault. So all the glory goes to you one way or the other. So commit. It's free, y'all. So just so you guys know, we're removing barriers of entry. You just got to get your flight ASAP. First, register. There's only 5,000 that will be let in this building. Register. Secondly, get your airfare. And for those that are brand new, we have an Airbnb. Airbnb right there is that little mansion looking thingy, whatever it is. We're going to be gathering, I think, on the 30th and the 31st. We're going to be doing a lock-in. I'm talking, we're all in the house. It's like a big house. We're all making dials, and we're going to be just selling, having fun. That night, we'll have, of course, a team dinner. We'll have a movie. I mean, we're going to have some fun, y'all. It's going to be real fun. It's very rare we're able to get together, put our hair down. Here's an opportunity to do that and see people out of their element, just giving you all the facts. So commit to going. Number 10, personal development. You're going to be reading 10 pages of a good book every day, 15 minutes of a good audio. Now, I'm going to just deviate for a second. If some of us have already checked out, I call that you don't have emotional stamina. So I'm listening, boom, 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 boom. You're like, there's physical stamina, and that's where we, see those athletes who achieve great things. And then there's emotional and mental stamina. These are the things you got to do in order to be a winner. Now, it's okay. Accept yourself as who you are. It's okay if you start running and you have a goal to run a 5-minute mile, but you only run at 12 now. It's okay. As long as you recognize that it's the reason that you may not have the stamina is because you haven't done it. It's not because it's a bad thing. So just recognize that right now. If you're kind of losing focus, you're not as engaged, just say, okay. In insanity, they call it maxing out. That's what, I do insanity every morning. I'm not a going to the gym kind of guy. I do it from my house. They say push yourself, but you need to mark the time that you maxed out, so that if you max it at 2 minutes, next time you max it at 2 minutes and 2 seconds. But as long as you're growing, you'll be getting better. So going back to a personal development, 10 pages of a good book. If you need a good book, here's one. Small, short, the obstacle is the way. This thing is awesome. It's awesome. You'll appreciate that. All right, number 11, and we're coming to a close. Find a workout partner. I implore you all. There's so many folks in this chat. It's guys in this chat. If you are willing to become someone's workout buddy, I'm talking, hey, someone who you're accountable to, that you're doing these things. You guys can figure out which one to be accountable to. Like, hey, I did my 2 today. Hey, I bought leads. Hey, whatever it is. Hey, say, hey, I am. Pop it on the chat. I am. If you will be a workout partner for someone, say I am, because it's critical. I mean, the top athletes, they all have workout partners. They pay them a lot of money. Here's a chance for you to become that for someone else. Number 12, just commit to be here a year from now. If you commit to be here a year from now, no matter what, you'll win. Like, you may be dragging yourself, like doing army crawls, but if you commit to be here a year from now, you will win, no matter what. Like, hey, no matter what, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much I think I'm going to quit, I'm not going to quit. Like, commit to yourself, because that one thing is going to be the difference maker. Guys, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not a quitter. Because of that commitment, that's what kept me in this business. 4 months in the business, I was still helping 20 families a month, but I was frustrated. I almost quit, guys. I mean, I remember I went to a February quarterly sales conference, the pit stop. I was literally going to quit. I was looking for something to be the difference maker. And because I was ready, I got it. And I'm still here today. What would have happened had I just quit on myself early? So that's the Haven 12, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and open up for Anna. If you could just please, oh, she's on the phone. Anna. All right. Well, it is what it is. If you come back on, let me know. Hey, Anna, if you could just share real quick what you heard from Melissa. We were sitting next to Sean Mike at the cruise, and Sean still shared some great things, but Melissa shared some incredible things as well about the stages of this business. We'll have Anna share that, and we'll knock out some questions, and then we'll close out. All right, Anna, if you could share with us what Marissa shared with you about the stages of this business, so that everyone knows what landmarks they're going to hit. And when they hit those landmarks, they are reassured.
Awesome. So yeah, Marissa said that Sean Mike shared with her when she was really struggling in her business, and I'm sure Mac told you, she just hit or received her integrity deal. He said, everybody through this business, they go through 3 stages. The first stage is they idolize it. They've literally never made this much money in their entire life. And it's the best thing in the world. And they burn themselves out and work all sorts of hours from dawn to dusk because of the potential. And then chargebacks start hitting, people start quitting on them, clients start canceling, and they get burnt out and they start to demonize it. And that's the second stage. And they go through a period where they hate it. They want to quit every day. They don't want to recruit anybody into it. They don't want to make any more sales, but it's almost like they're forced to because they don't have another choice, and they have to figure out, how am I going to pay all these bills plus these chargebacks, etc. And so they trudge through that stage of demonizing it. And then the third one is they begin to humanize it. And really the humanize is they understand the good and they're okay with the bad, and they're able to mesh both together. And it's interesting because when she told me about that while we were on the cruise, I said, what's interesting is I think I just hit that humanize stage after 3 years, like within the last few months, because I went through a period in the beginning where, yeah, we had never made this much money in our life. It was amazing. And then I went through a long period of, I hate this, Mac, let's do something else. Why do we have to, there's so much time investment and everything. And now I'm like, when we get a chargeback or we get, agents rolling us dead, or we get a client canceling, it's just kind of like, it's part of the business. It doesn't gut punch me. It doesn't piss me off. It's just like, it's cool. I understand it's part of the business, and you just keep rolling with it. And eventually you keep going and you come out on top of it. But even when you come out on top of it, understand, then there's a whole new level, different type of problems. And that's why the humanized portion is so important, is because you understand you never get to this point where it's like, right, where it's perfect. There's no problems. There's nobody canceling. There's no chargebacks. You never get to that point. What you get to a point is that when those things happen, and when they happen on a larger scale, it doesn't affect you anymore. You're actually grateful for that because you understand, well, you know, dogs don't bark at a parked car, so I'm doing something right if I'm both getting deposits and I'm getting chargebacks, if I'm both recruiting and I got people canceling, if I've got agents writing and I got roll-up debt. Something good is happening, and pretty soon you come out on top of all of that and just look back and enjoy the process. So I thought that was pretty powerful. Back over to you, Mac.
Hey, appreciate that. You could just paraphrase those three because so we can just get it or write it down.
Idolize, demonize, humanize.
Remember that, y'all. What stage are you at so that when it hits you, you're not surprised. You're like that video game. You guys have played it, Mario Brothers, whatever. When you play that first time, that level, you got killed. But when you knew the bad guy was to the left, you were ready for him. So when it arrived, you're like, aha, they told me this would happen. Now you're prepared for it. It's just a walk through the promised land. The children of Israel, they had to go through snakes. They got to go through a lot of battles to be able to get to the promised land. And it's no different for us, guys. Work out, doesn't matter what it is. So that's it, guys. Appreciate you. But take care, take charge. We'll see you guys next week.